So while we are, especially after events of the spring, we are reconvening parent and community advisory inputs and reconvening teacher and staff advisory inputs to more broadly address or at least discuss potential safety improvements. Those processes take time and depend upon the participation of people that aren't available in our buildings over the summer. So it seemed to me that the do-nothing option on safety was simply unacceptable. And it was out of that frustration with the do-nothing or say-nothing option that I communicated with parents in our division about suggestions. Not requirements, not mandates, but simple suggestions for improving safety. Because I believe, it's interesting, we had a firearm enter Chancellor Middle School in the late spring of this year, and within about a week of that occurrence, there was also a firearm that entered a building in a school division down around Richmond. I think it was in Henrico County. Interesting difference between the two is Henrico County had been studying weapons detection technology for, I think, 2 years, had come to a decision about installing that technology and installed the technology in the building where the weapon got past the technology and into the building. And it suggested to my mind a simple but challenging truth that we cannot buy safe schools. We have to create safe schools. We have to enculturate safe schools, and it is a partnership exercise between students and parents and teachers and staff and central administration and SROs and SSOs and all of us working together, centered around a very simple question: what will we not tolerate in our schools? We should not be expected. We should not expect our students or their parents or our staff to tolerate weapons in our schools. We shouldn't expect them, but that's just part of the list. That's just part of the list. And we will be fleshing out the parameters with input from parents, from teachers, from staff, from students, from every direction we can get it. What is the rest of the answer to that question? What should we not tolerate in our schools for the sake of the safety and good operations of our schools? Now, we make those decisions, but even as we make those decisions, we're stuck with the great unknown. We don't know what walks into our schools. Weapons detectors are not going to save us. Look at the Henrico exercise. By the way, we have no budget for weapons detectors. At the same time, hey, if to the extent that weapons detectors become a priority of this school board and a priority of our community, I'm all in, and I will go fight for that funding. And by the way, that's something that I've done with some good success. I'm the new guy, but we got more money than we've had in more than 20 years from our local community to fund this division. So we're making some progress here. Now, a weapons detector, that technology, those can cost a pile of money. And we saw from Henrico this spring, sadly, the results that that can be produced, because guess what? You install the technology that says we bought safety to the mind of some youngsters. I think I might have been one of them as a young teenager myself. That's just a challenge. That's just a challenge. We have to enculturate safety. We have to have conversations at the school level, at the classroom level, in this room, with the community, with the parents, with everybody about safety. And out of that rose the suggestion, not the requirement, anyone, just a suggestion. of a clear parcel, because if everybody can see, and this is what I told parents, if you get your child, if your child comes to school with a clear parcel, a transparent backpack or drawstring bag or whatever, that's sending a signal that says, I'm transparent. You can see what I've got. I'll show you, and I'm in it for safety. And I think that that's important. I think that messaging is important. I think the culture of safety is important in our schools. I think that holding one another accountable is important in our schools. The clear parcels were simply a suggestion and no more, because I have received feedback from parents, questions from parents. What can we do? What can we do? There are also ways to get involved, and I've mentioned those, and this is not new. The NAACP, Mo Petway, came forward with a suggestion of developing volunteer groups of adults that are background checked, approved to be in our buildings. We're not picking them up at the southern border and flying them up here to do this. We're reviewing and background checking and doing the standard review that we do for anyone to be in our buildings, for volunteers to be in our schools, to be additional adult eyes, because more adult supervision is more adult supervision. And having more people in our schools is a benefit, especially during morning transition times. And yes, I did say that because I've been accused of wanting to invite unqualified, unbackground checked, unknown, unscreened people into our schools, and that is simply false. It's simply false.